Hello, everybody, and welcome back to People in the Boxes. It is Thursday night, 8 o'clock Central Time, March 20th, 2025. Let's go. We're going to play a little intro for 4 minutes and 16 seconds. We will be right back after that. If you want to help us out, hit that like button and tag some friends, and we will be getting into the topic of current events tonight. So let's go.
Voices echo through the walls so thin, trapped in squares where the stories begin. Whispers rise from the shadows deep, secrets these boxes swear to keep. People in the boxes, souls on display, talking through the silence, night into day. Bound by lines, yet the truth breaks free. People in the boxes calling to me. Every cube holds a tale untold, hearts of fire, dreams so bold. Walls can't hold what the spirit sings, laughter and tears on fragile wings. People in the boxes, souls on display, talking through the silence, night into day. Bound by lines, yet the truth breaks free. People in the boxes calling to me. Are they cages or a stage to stand? A prison built by a human hand. Voices clash, then they blend as one. In the boxes, the journey's begun. People in the boxes, souls on display, talking through the silence, night into day. Bound by lines, yet the truth breaks free. People in the boxes calling to me. I hear their sound, lost in seeking yet profound. People in the boxes near and far, shining out like a guiding star. Voices echo through the walls so thin, trapped in squares where the stories begin. Whispers rise from the shadows deep, secrets these boxes swear to keep. People in the boxes, souls on display, talking through the silence, night into day. Bound by lines, yet the truth breaks free. People in the boxes calling to me. Every cube holds a tale untold, hearts of fire, dreams so bold. Walls can't hold what the spirit sings, laughter and tears on fragile wings. People in the boxes, souls on display, talking through the silence, night into day. Bound by lines, yet the truth breaks free. The people in the boxes calling to me. Or a stage to stand, a prison built by a human hand. Voices clash, then they blend as one. In the boxes, the journey's begun. People in the boxes, souls on display, talking to the silence, night into day. Bound by lines, yet the truth breaks free. People in the boxes calling to me. Every cube holds a tale untold, hearts of fire, dreams so bold. Walls can't hold what the spirit sings, laughter and tears on fragile wings. Every cage is or a stage to stand, a prison built by a human hand.
All right, we are back, and it is Thursday. People in the Boxes, episode 136, March 20th, 2025. And we are going to be talking current events tonight. We do this once a month, usually the third weekend or third Thursday of the month, and kind of go into what we see going on around the world and within our own lives as well. We kind of update on what's going on, and we kind of talk about that anyway on Thursdays. We want to hear from you guys. We want to see what you guys think. So if you want the link to come up on the show, I will try to get it to you, no matter where that is. We are live on YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and Kick right now. So you're all welcome to also help us out and share it to anywhere you want. It'd be great. Let's go. We're going to have some fun. We got Red Six with us tonight. Red Six, how's it going, man?
Good.
We got Kim Axtell here in the house. I like that you have sunlight still over there. It's funny. I don't.
It's waning.
I'm just going to get this thing to follow me. Here we go. So what's happening, guys? People in the Boxes. It's a show that we try to get together to have a little perspective on what each other thinks about very common and broad topics. And this week we got quite a few sort of spicy topics, if you will. There's a whole bunch of sort of terrorist attacks going on in domestically all over different places with Tesla vehicles, and there's all kinds of things happening abroad. We had tornadoes here in Illinois yesterday. I was hunkered down for a while, and I think you were probably too, Red Six. And there was also last week we talked about the cyclone in Australia. I'm hoping that situation has gotten any better. So we're going to look into it. We're going to get into it tonight. But first, I guess let's talk about what's happening with us. I had my first sweet potato harvest this week. I showed it off on Monday, and I didn't get a whole lot of sweet potatoes, but it was I turned one sweet potato into a handful of like little ones. So I can make more if I want to do it that way. So it is kind of spreading it out, but it's probably not the best harvest. But I didn't know how long I really should go with it, and it was going for I don't know. That had to be going for like a year. I feel like it was a year. I don't know. I need to maybe keep better track of that, obviously. But that's something that happened with me this week. I'm going to also, since I switched back to headphones, I think we can play some more, play different music tracks so that I can leave it on and we just hear some different songs instead of the StreamYard just keeps playing the same song unless you keep manually changing it. I'm not doing that. Hey, what's up, Margaret? I see you on the Rumble. Bring it in. Hit that like button. Let's see. Red Six is gone. Oh no. I'm going to share in the screen audio 1 second here. Kim, how are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm enjoying the last days of my spring vacation. A little frustrated.
Ours starts Monday.
Yeah, we had 2 weeks off this year. I'm a little frustrated though, because like all of this construction stuff that I've been trying to get taken care of at my house is like dragging its heels, and we've had horrible winds. Like you guys, the tornadoes you guys got, all that horrible weather that hit the Midwest the last week.
Yeah.
You know, that tornado that hit Missouri, right?
It wasn't the same one that I'm talking about from yesterday.
Missouri got it.
Huh. Okay.
I don't remember when it was that they got it, but
I drove through a blizzard in Missouri this weekend, which was fun.
Yeah. Well, they got all kinds of weather, but I think I don't know which part of Missouri got hit by bad tornadoes, but we had a windstorm here that hit. It was several days long. It was horrible. We had 100-mile-an-hour winds recorded. 101 mile an hour winds that were recorded here. but it was horrendous. It was really, really bad. But we had several days of it. It started like on Wednesday of last week, and we had it Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I think, or something like that. And then, or no, we had it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then Friday, we had a nice day. And then Saturday, we had the winds that caused the tornado that you guys got. That was a really fast moving storm.
Yeah, it actually, I guess, did touch down. I didn't see it anywhere around here, but it did get pretty dark. But I guess it would touch down up north near Chicago.
Yeah.
You guys hear the music faintly?
Yeah, faintly.
Yeah,
Yeah. I found what I think is the perfect audio sound, or the volume height for playing songs with words in it.
Did you guys get anything other than a tornado? Did you get snow or anything? Because I think they had
got snow this morning. Wasn't much, just a dusting.
Yeah, because we got wind from hell here, but I know Colorado, the same day that we were getting the wind from hell here Saturday, they were getting snow up in the Denver area from the same system. It was a system that came out of California. I've been watching the weather maps on all of these systems that have come through.
I was watching this live stream yesterday of these guys that were storm chasers trying to chase the one in Chicago, near Chicago, trying to find it on in wheels. Red 6, did you see I had you connected on the destinations? Are we too spicy for your?
No, it's on my thing now, and I shared it to your Maccabees Live Market page. So if people go there, they should be able to find you there too.
It doesn't look it's not connected now.
Oh, at the top, yeah,
it's
not up there. It's on my page though.
Yeah, that's gonna make it a link that people have to come in. But that's either way. If they want to come over to find us on the Rumble, let's go Rumble. 10 people already. I've been doing pretty well on the Rumble this week. It's been a good week for the non-Facebook first non-Facebook week. I tell you what, I see other people having a ton of problems on Facebook trying to go live for different reasons, and I don't miss it. I feel like it's just going to be. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we've had it pretty much hopping over there the last couple of nights. It takes a while because sometimes people are doing other things. But Monday, I think it was pretty almost instant. I had Stuart on, Stuart Scott from Stuart Microgreens. So it was a good episode. Tuesday night was pretty good too. I went to Irish Fest over the weekend, and I showed off all the pictures from that. I don't know what you did last weekend, Red 6, but I drove 11 hours for about 125 pictures and video clips. I
had a pool tournament match Saturday, so I wasn't able to bounce out of town.
Yeah, I don't know that the trip was worth it necessarily unless I was able to stay longer, but I couldn't really stay longer. So you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit.
What are you doing this Saturday?
I saw that event that you had that you posted about. So I don't know. I may try to get to that. My son, we're doing an arcade, cake and all this stuff. Kind of I don't know if I want to call it a birthday party because we're not like renting out a space, but we're doing his birthday kind of thing that day. I know the stuff at the VFW though is a little bit later, so I may be able to hit that one. Where was it? VFW or
okay? So
A&W.
In the morning, they're doing like a walk ruck thing to raise money for the Fuller House, which is an organization that
Fuller House. Okay.
Yeah, it's an organization that does free counseling for veterans. So they're doing a little fundraising thing. I went to it last year. I'm going to go again this year, but it's at Bradley Park. If you know where that's at.
Oh yeah, I throw in a disc or two down there.
Yep. So we'll walk around
200.
the park in the morning, and then they'll go over to the East Peoria Boat Club at noon, I think it is, and they'll do a polar plunge at noon. And then they'll be over at the VFW, I think, at like 6 or 7 p.m. And they'll also have the ice bath set up. So if anybody,
There's a run too, right? Did you already say that?
yeah, that's in the morning at 9.
Man, it'd be great to like feel confident to do that. Although I'm sure I could walk some of it, right?
I walk the whole thing. I don't run. I'm not a runner.
You're going to be going to that?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll walk in. I thought about
9
roughing
a.m.?
it, carrying a little bag with me or something. Kind of get.
Could I have my dog with me?
Yeah, I think so. It's kid friendly too. So.
Well, I
We have
won't
the
have
Baton
him.
Death March this weekend.
The Baton Death March.
Baton Memorial Death March.
Interesting.
They have that every
Not
year.
heard of it. Was it a battle of some kind?
No, it's a marathon, and it goes through it. Do you know what?
Oh, it's just a really rigorous marathon death march.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was like in memorial of something.
No, it's in memorial of the Baton. Well, New Mexico had a disproportionate amount of people that were in the Baton Death March.
Cheers.
So they've had the Baton Death March,
Hey,
the
Ronald.
Baton Memorial, whatever it's called. It's a marathon. It's like 26 point whatever, however long a marathon is, but it's really rugged because it goes through the mountains and the desert and stuff like that. So it's not an easy, not that any marathon is easy by large, but it's even more rugged.
It's not a triathlon. You're muted, Red.
It's a marathon. And you can like bring teams, like you can do a team. I don't know how that works. I've never done it myself.
Team, okay. So like
You can do it
baton
individually,
passing?
you can do it by team. Huh? No, it's not a baton. It's the Bataan Death March, Memorial Death March. Not that kind of baton.
Yeah, I did that when I was in high school.
My great uncle survived the Bataan Death March.
Well, glad he did.
Yep.
Well, there's a lot going on. Let's get into it. I want to pull up X. We're gonna have the kick chat visible as well. Excuse me. So like here's a perfect example. I didn't even have to click any buttons. This is just the main feed. I know you're gonna have some strong opinions about this, Kim. I think you posted something about it.
Yeah, I don't agree with what they're doing. I mean, I understand the sentiment behind it and all that, but I don't agree with that kind of behavior.
They think they're hurting. They think they're hurting Elon Musk's bottom line.
I don't think they think that they're hurting his bottom line because the guy is the world's richest man. I mean, but
Well,
I think what
do they
they're
know
doing,
who they're hating or they're hurting?
I think that they're just trying to get their point across with stuff. It's protest.
Well, there's a way to protest. There's a way to do civil disobedience.
Well, I agree
Far
with you.
cry
Like
from-
I said, I don't agree with how they're doing it, but I don't think
Okay.
that you're really trying to hurt somebody's bottom line. If you want to hurt the bottom line, freaking don't buy the product. That's how you hurt a bottom line. I don't really,
Yeah,
you know,
I
you
agree.
might have some people that are ignorant about stuff that are doing stuff like that to thinking that they're going to hurt his bottom line, but it's more about it's a protest. It's a violent protest. It's attention.
yeah, but
seeking.
the thing I saw was, and it's such a hypocritical move when you're coming from the quote unquote, eco-friendly or the eco warrior sort of section of politics. They're like, on one hand, save the planet,
You know,
And on the
that's
other
not
hand,
everybody not so first of all, you're lumping everybody that's involved in this on
in
the left.
general, on that side, yeah. Well, no, you're right.
Okay.
You're right. You're right.
So don't
I
do
don't know
that
who's
because
involved with it.
you don't know who's doing this stuff. You don't know what
Could be
their
the
purpose
government.
is for doing it.
Could be the people
Not
that are being
everybody.
there.
Let me tell you something. There's half of this country that did not vote for Donald Trump.
Half of the voter electorate, or the voters. I mean,
Yeah, half of this country did not vote for Donald Trump. So keep that in mind. And a lot of the people, a lot of the people that did and didn't vote for him are not necessarily conservatives. So by sitting there making a statement like that, that's a blanket statement. Not
so
everybody.
well, these are similar people that are going to do, those type of extreme actions with the green movement as well. There's been a lot of sort of disruptive and trying to blow up pipelines and things like that. So I'm not saying it's the same
I
people,
equate
but it's
that
the same
to the
side.
same thing of these people that were anti-abortion, that were going around blowing up abortion clinics and killing people in abortion clinics and stuff like that. People that
When did that happen?
That was back in the 90s, I think.
The pendulum swings.
You get all kinds of people trying to make their point with violence, and it's not representative of the whole group. It's just a fragmented, just
You're
like
right.
Timothy McVeigh didn't represent everybody. He was had his little subgroup or whatever.
Hey, Margaret, appreciate you coming in over on the X.
But
Diane.
I personally don't condone that kind of stuff. I think it's stupid. But I understand why people do it. It's just like, you go back to the civil rights movement, you look at the work that Martin Luther King did. He was very much, nonviolent. His movement was nonviolence. Whereas you look at Malcolm X, and Malcolm X, was the opposite. He brought violence to his message.
Sorry. Well, I knew this was kind of a big story, so that's why I brought that up first. But it's not getting better, and I don't know if they think that is gonna, I don't know. There could be multiple layers to this. It seems very coordinated. That's my opinion. I think it seems coordinated. It also seems like it's just getting started. So it is worrisome. People that will later point to say, look, they couldn't get this and that done that they said they'd get done, but then they don't want to point out the stuff like this that's being purposely slowing them down on their agendas and things like that. So kind of can't have it both ways, where you say what they're doing isn't going to work, but then on the back end be like, well, look, they didn't get to do what they were trying to do, so they're failures after all these coordinated attacks. So we'll see how it plays out. Obviously, the insurance companies are probably the ones that are freaking out right now. Like every Tesla owner probably running out to make sure that they have fire insurance. Like, oh man, or maybe they change their there's got to be some reels out there. People changing their Tesla to make it look like something else. Put a different logo over the outside, slap a sticker of whatever, a Chevy sticker over the outside of the Tesla.
I'd be curious to see what his stocks look like and his sales on all of the different, because he doesn't just have Tesla, he's got other
he's got businesses.
I'd be more curious to see if it's, how his financials are being impacted in those areas.
I mean, look, I don't think he was planning to make money by volunteering to help the government like he is.
I don't think he has an agenda to make money. The guy has more fucking money than
Yeah,
he
that's
can.
what I'm saying.
I think
Exactly.
if he's into anything for anything else, it's the power. It's like, where else is he going to go? What else can he has every possible thing at his disposal with the amount of money that he has. He has all the influence, all the power in the world. Where do you go from there with that?
You maybe try to help people with it.
Well, yeah. Or you could also have a dark side to it. Time will
Yeah.
tell.
Do we think so? The whole saying absolute power corrupts absolutely, like that's true. But is it true every time? Do we think that's true every time? I don't know. Because that's cases where anybody, no matter what side of whatever aisle you're on, would have someone at the sort of top, the pinnacle of success, usually a rich person, but they might be successful for all sorts of different reasons. But whenever you look up to that person, you're at least picking one person out there that you think is rich, but also can still be good. So do we think that's probably not the norm? Somebody that's like, I don't know, over $50 million.
I don't know, but I will
wealthy.
tell you that human nature is what it is, and that power corrupts.
That's what I was saying.
And
Is it every time though?
while maybe right now he's not, who knows how long, who knows how long it would be before, he does become corrupted, or maybe he's already corrupted. I don't know. I don't know the man.
I think that he's not the necessarily, he's not the conservative savior of the right, but he's also not the I'll walk in lockstep with everyone just because they say so on the left. And so I think it's hard to pin down for a lot of people, and it's not exactly something that can fit into any category that everybody's trying to put him in. And
Yeah.
I fully think he has I don't want to say Asperger's, but
Oh yeah, he's on the spectrum.
Asperger's. He's on the
He's on the
spectrum for
spectrum.
sure, but they don't
Mhm.
say Asperger's anymore.
Yeah.
So I guess it is what it is. But I think that that people that don't see that just for watching his interviews, like he's not like a conversationalist, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
he's not a smooth talking,
He's super
silver
linear.
tongue.
He's very
Yeah, like
linear.
so I think while a lot of people try not to give him credit or try to take credit from him to say, oh well, he just gets people together that do what he's that build the things or whatever. But it takes someone with that sort of like singular sort of focused mind to keep that, to do all that. So I don't know what he's actually smart in. They say he's an engineer, but people try to say, oh, he didn't invent those things, he just got people to do that. Well, I mean, hell, maybe it takes someone that's pretty smart to do that, to get all those people together to make things like catching rockets and all the things that are just insane that are happening. I don't want this whole
listen to
episode to
what
be
people
about
say.
Elon Musk, but
I don't listen to what people say because it's just chatter.
yeah,
I look at behavior. And one of the things that concerns me with what's going on, this Doge thing, or Doge, however you say it, is that there's no empathy behind what they're doing. They are laying off thousands, not hundreds, thousands of people. Thousands of people. And they're not hitting lazy motherfuckers. They're not laying off people that the American public has access to grind with in our government. They're
Are you
laying
sure
off.
about that? You're saying there's nobody in the government that are
I'm not
lazy?
going to say that every single person. The vast majority of the people that have been laid off are the people that are the easiest to fire because they don't have any seniority in their jobs. They don't have any job security. And so
was
you
also
can
put
drop
out, they
these
were
motherfuckers off like easily. Chop, you're gone because you don't have any protections, or you have very little protection. To me, it's a big dog and pony show.
Yeah, but a lot of them were given options if they didn't
Nah,
reply.
mm-mm.
You don't think that was true? They didn't give the option?
There were some that were given options, but that was a very, very small minority of people. And those weren't the temporary, or not the temporary, the under 2-year employees. And the numbers with that, it's like it's impossible to tell what is what, because I've looked and I'm pretty good about ferreting out statistics and stuff like that, but it is impossible to tell numbers right now about who's what, because they're just inflated, and everybody's inflating the shit out of those numbers. So the numbers of who exactly has been laid off or not been laid off or whatever.
Well, then we can't argue about that, really. Then I'm not trying to. I don't know the numbers.
But I do know that the people that have been, the vast majority of people that have been laid off are employees that were not vested. They had
probationary employees.
Yeah, less than 2 years.
3,600 people.
No, it's been more than that.
This was from February 15th.
There's
from,
uber more
Fox
than
News.
that.
Doge is looking at.
I'm telling you, dude, like I looked at all kinds of stuff on the numbers on that, and the numbers are all over the place. It's impossible to tell, but there's thousands of people that have lost their jobs.
A lot of them have been sucking off of our
These
teeth.
are not people that are sucking off the tit, dude. These are people that have been.
You just said yourself you don't know the numbers, so how can you argue that?
The people that they're going after are people that have been under 2 years. These are not people that are sucking off nobody's tit.
Nah, that's only one section of people they're going after. They're going after anybody that's just worthless. It's not even responding to the.
They aren't going after worthless.
You're telling me
people.
there was not an email put out that said, give me 5 things that you do through the week, and whether you think that's bullshit or not, but a lot of people were responding with suck my dick, fuck you, this and that. Like, those people don't need to be working there if they can't say 5 things they do through the week. I'm sorry. I don't care how long you've been working there.
Dude,
Like,
that is so fucking disrespectful to send somebody an email like that.
How? You're the boss. That's the chain
It
of
don't
command.
work like that.
How it doesn't it? Your job
work
doesn't
like that. Let me tell you something. I have very
Oh.
good friends that work for the federal government here. I have very good friends that work out at White Sands Missile Range. They work out at Fort Bliss. I have friends that work up at Sandia National Laboratories, Los Alamos, all of that shit. It's very disrespectful getting an email like that. And I get it. The dude is on the spectrum. Like, he is not a touchy.
That has nothing to do with
guy. But the way that they're going about doing this, that's why you're getting these people protesting violently, dude. Like, because their voice is not heard anywhere, and isn't being heard anywhere.
So you think it's the government, the employees that are burning the Teslas?
I don't know who it is. I think it's people that
they're
are pissed
justified?
off because nobody's voice is being heard on one side.
So, like a regular company,
The
say a big company
conservative
goes
agenda
out.
is being forced down everybody's throat. And this isn't what people that voted for Trump, because
It's not just
they
conservatives
didn't
that
wanna
want to
vote
cut the
for Biden
government.
or whatever. This
There's
is a conservative agenda that is
No.
being forced
Cutting the
down
government is
everybody's throat.
Cutting the government size is not just
This
a conservative
is
agenda.
a conservative agenda.
Give me more than just that. Like, what do you mean? I'm talking about cutting
It's
the
part
government
of the
size.
Heritage Foundation, dude. Go look at whatever that thing was that they put out.
Well,
This
it
is
didn't
a
get out to us.
conservative
It went out to the
agenda.
left.
And it's being forced down everybody's throat,
Can you
whether you fucking like it or not. Go to that.
Can you elaborate?
25
Just for the
Well,
firing
no,
of people?
I can't think of what that. Yes, to downsize the government. That's
A lot
part
of people
what
want
Trump
that.
ran on. He ran on that.
Yeah,
whole
he ran
platform.
on it, so they should have
No,
known.
he ran on the Heritage Foundation's platform.
You
And
mean
everybody said,
2025?
oh,
No.
yes.
No,
Yes,
he
he
didn't.
did. Oh, the fuck he didn't.
No.
Who do you think funded him? Who do you think got him
Everybody.
elected?
The
No,
people
I'm telling
and
you.
himself too.
Well, you are mightily uninformed and blind if you think that the Project 20, that the Heritage Foundation isn't behind all of this stuff. They are. But you go get whatever information off Twitter and you drink your Kool-Aid.
Well,
And
bring up some information, Kim. Give me something.
Project 2025. Go read it, Waylon.
Where? Give me the website.
Google it.
So Google is the website.
I don't know what the website is. It's
Why?
been a
And then
long
how?
time
Then how
since
can
I
you
looked
argue
at
it
all that
so
shit.
vehemently if you don't even know where this information is?
Dude, because I didn't come here prepared to have an argument with you about this shit tonight.
Well, that's a big thing. I don't know.
Well,
I didn't bring
go
it up.
look at it. I'm not the only one that said this, dude. People have been saying this for months.
People are saying it.
That I'm aware of. It's been being said for about a year. But
not anywhere on the right.
That I first heard it, started paying attention to it.
You're talking about the stuff where it says like women are going to be forced to have babies, and there's all this other like crazy, like way outlandish stuff on this list of. I'm trying to find it here. Project 2025 explained.
Go look at the Heritage Foundation is who's behind Project 2025. They're the ones that are behind all of this stuff. They're the ones that came out of the Tea Party agenda.
LibertyShield.network wants to tell me their plan, but is there a website? Is there a Heritage Foundation website?
I think so.
HeritageFoundation.org. Here it is.
I haven't looked at that stuff in a long time.
Project 2025, January 31st, 2023. Smashley, what's up? Elisa, hello. I agree. Bean, what's up? They're public servants. If they work for the government, they answer to the people. They better be able to explain why they pay. Yeah, I agree. I mean, if any job, any business, any company has like a review of like your work, and there's other word for it, but like your performance review.
Those
and if
people
you don't pass
go
it, you're out.
Performance reviews every year. Just like you do in the military. You go through
What's one more?
Review
What's one more then? What's one more? Five questions or 5 things? One more? One tiny? That's really petty if they can't do that little
Well,
thing.
I think it's really petty that somebody sends you an email telling you something like that. Like
what do you mean somebody? Like they're the people above you that pay you. Like that's
Elon Musk is not paying you. Elon Musk is not an elected official. No, he requested.
Okay, just like they aren't.
He had it sent out.
The people getting fired aren't elected officials. So what does that line? That's just a line. That's a talking point from the left. He's not an elected official. Just like every other non-elected official that works in the government. What do you mean? Like that's literally thousands of people, non-elected officials. He's not the only one. Just because he has more money than the other ones doesn't make him different as an employee. This is the Heritage Foundation. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but see, it's past time, lay the groundwork for the White House more friendly to the right. Policy book mandate for leadership represents the work for the 350 leading conservatives and outlines a vision of conservative success, which a product suspect in the permanent political class will be ready for the next conservative administration. Be ready for the, let's see. What's the list of things? First pillar. Okay, read that already. Online personal database. This conservative LinkedIn personal database will launch in March. Will launch in March. Did that launch? I don't think that launched. And will provide an opportunity for rock-solid conservatives to place themselves in contention for roles in the next administration. See anything wrong with that? The third is Presidential Administration Academy. When conservatives do finally make it into administration, they often do know or don't know what to do or how to seize the gears of power effectively. That just seems like telling them how to seize power, which both sides would probably have conversations about. The fourth and final pillar of the Project 25 is our playbook, which will take the policy ideas expressed in mandate for leadership and transform them into an implementation plan for each agency to advocate. Let me zoom this in a little bit. Advocate to the incoming administration. So they're talking about lobbying, basically. Regulation and executive orders must be signed on day one. Where the greatest need for more political appointees? How can we effectively use the mechanism of government to face our most challenging problems? Our playbook will put our movements to work answering questions like these. So far, I don't see anything. Let's see, November 16th.
I don't know. I poked on something in that same thing you're reading on my phone, and it says Project 2025 is a historic movement brought together by over 100 respected organizations from across the conservative movement to take down the deep state and return the government to the people. Its mandate for leadership, the conservative promise, published in April of 2023, is a product of more than 400 scholars and policy experts from around the country. The book offers a menu of policy suggestions to meet our country's deepest challenges and put America back on track, including secure the border, finish building the wall, deport illegal aliens, de-weaponize the federal government by increasing accountability and oversight of the FBI and DOJ, unleash American energy production to reduce energy prices, cut the growth of government spending to reduce inflation, make federal bureaucrats more accountable to the democratically elected president and Congress, improve education by moving control and funding of education from DC bureaucrats directly to parents and state and local governments, ban biological males competing in women's sports. That's a part of the book. Those are the main highlights of the book. All the stuff that is going on right now, every single one of these things is going on right now. Every one of these has been in the headlines of the news up until today. Like it was
all good stuff.
In your opinion, but you're not the only person with an opinion. There's half of a nation.
Yeah, well, I don't know anything about the Heritage Foundation.
Any of this stuff.
Okay, well, they didn't get the popular vote.
That not everybody has a seat at the table for, and that's why you're starting to see these awful protests.
And you think the previous administration was void from doing that? Didn't do any of that?
What?
You think the previous administration, the Biden-Harris administration, didn't do anything like that without having people have a seat at the table? Like, for instance, installing the vice president as the presidential candidate without even having a vote being done, things like that. Like, you don't think they did that?
Let me ask you a question. If Biden had have died,
that was a yes or no.
What would they have done? They would have done the exact same thing. They had a president that was not able to run again. It was already in primary time. What were they going to do?
Have a primary to leave it up to the people.
Oh, okay, let's have a primary. Are we going to
table.
put off the election so that we can have a primary, so that we can run a correct primary? Are we going to put off the election for another year so that we can have another primary? Is that what you wanted to happen? I mean, what are the choices here?
They would have admitted the choice would they did that on purpose. You're telling me there was no advantage to how they did that? Last minute. They waited until after they could not have a primary so they could
disadvantage. It was a huge disadvantage, and it was one that cost the Democratic Party.
Who would have run? You think who would have beat Kamala? Just wondering. Just curious.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't think that there was really anybody. I think that Kamala Harris was probably the best choice, honestly.
Bean, I sent you the link. Come on up. We need more people in these boxes. Come on, it can't just be the Kim and Waylon argue show and Red Six does Bong show. We can't.
He's
we
ripping
can't
the
have
bomb
this.
There. Good.
We
You guys
can't
are
have
harshing
this.
you're harshing my buzz, man.
He's like, I'm gonna need an extra load or not too. Look, I get it. These are some big things. We need to look around and find some other stuff happening right now. I'm sure there's something else going on that's not political besides tornadoes and shit.
Yeah, I was reading a thing about the zombie cow disease.
Zombie cow disease. All right, going to search it now.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it again.
One reason I use Twitter is that you have these fairly big news sort of personalities that they're posting there almost immediately. And if I go and Google something, I don't know some of these destinations. You know what I mean? And if you go to Twitter, you can go and like follow some of the ones that are pretty noteworthy, not just one side, but like whatever side. And you're going to be seeing the not just opinion stuff, but like the crazy things happening, like the viral stuff going on.
It's a zombie deer disease. I was reading a news article about it earlier. I always pay attention to stuff like that because, you know, a lot of the times, well, not a lot of the times, most of the time, those diseases end up jumping into human. But I think there's a different implication other than it just jumping into human species eventually. But I mean, if it gets bad enough, like it could disrupt our chain supply, our food chain.
Yeah, there is several things trying to disrupt our food chain. Zombie cow. Let's see.
Yeah, there was a what I was reading was out of The Guardian. It's a neurodegenerative illness that affects like elk, deer, and moose.
I don't know, but look at this thing. Holy shit.
Oh, is that yeah, it's zombie bugs eating a bug.
They're like they're like controlling that thing like a car.
Yeah.
They're like running its limbs and stuff. Holy cow.
Yeah, the look up the one on The Guardian.
I typed in zombie cow. Let's see, The Guardian.
No, not zombie cow, zombie deer.
Oh, zombie deer. I did see the zombie deer.
Yeah. I always think of deer as cows because I think they're in the bovine family.
This guy here, this is from last year, but it's the most recent thing I found. I can look at it and Google it.
Yeah, the Guardian, which is a news agency, put out a article on it. It's an always fatal neurodegenerative disorder that affects deer, elk, and moose, and in higher latitudes, reindeer. And there's no treatment or vaccine. It sounds to me kind of like mad cow disease.
Zombie deer disease epidemic spreads in Yellowstone as scientists raise fears in May jump to humans. Zombie, yeah, but do they have superpowers? That's what I want to know. Okay, when the mule deer duck. Okay, is that part of the? It is. When the mule deer buck dies in October, it perished in a place most humans would consider the most. This thing is tiny. Consider the middle of nowhere, miles from nearest road, but its last breath were not taken in a long dreaded disease in the backcountry of Yellowstone National Park, northwest Wyoming. The first confirmed case of chronic wasting disease. in the country's most famous nature reserve. Chronic wasting disease. Okay. For years, chronic wasting disease, CWD, caused by prions, abnormal transmissible pathogenic agents, has been spreading stealthily across North America, with concerns voiced primarily by hunters after spotting deer strangely. Deer behaving strangely. I saw the video before. We can look at it here. This is the video of the deer. Just holy. I don't mean to laugh. It's a sad thing, but man, they're acting. Well, how do you know that one was?
Oh yeah, it affects their brain. It's neurodegenerative.
shit.
It's the brain is dying. It's like Alzheimer's or mad cow disease where it attacks the brain.
Holy cow. You don't want to eat that deer.
Yep. And that's the thing. Like, I think that's why they're worried that it'll, that it could jump species, jump into human populations, because there's a lot of people that hunt and they eat what they hunt. But, I was thinking, and I was like, well, that's bad, but it'll take a long time for that to happen, most likely for it to jump species. But what does concern me is that it's a food source. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're bovine. Elk and all of that are in the bovine family. They're cows. They're wild cows, I think. And what happens if it gets into our cows that we eat and it wipes out our food supply? I think, with all of these diseases, we find a way to overcome diseases. COVID comes along, we have a vaccination for that. We have polio come along, we've got a cure for that. Measles, there's a cure for that. We come up with all these cures for diseases that, used to cull the herds, so to speak. Well, Mother Nature always finds a way. And what if this is the way? That's kind of my thinking. If it wipes out our food supply.
It's discovered in Yellowstone, whose ecosystem supports the greatest and most diverse array of large wild mammals in the continental U.S. Represents an important public wake-up call, says Dr. Thomas Roff, a vet and former chief of animal health for the Fish and Wildlife Service, a U.S. federal agency. This case puts CWD on the radar of widespread attention in ways it wasn't before, and that's ironically a good thing, he says. It is a disease that has huge ecological implications. Roth has been predicting CWD would reach Yellowstone for decades, warning that both the federal government and that state of Wyoming needed to take aggressive measures to help slow the spread. Okay, help slow the spread. Those warnings went largely unheeded, he says. And now the consequence will play out before the millions who visit the park each year. So people are just going to be seeing it happen.
Cows don't bite, Ashley. They masticate with their tongue.
And these are deer, Smashly. For some reason, when I typed in cow, it still pulled up the deer, but
well, deers and cows are related.
Bovine style?
Well, no, they're part of the order of the Artiodactylia. They're related.
Is that how you get the miniature cow? You have a cow, get it on with a deer.
No, I think they bred the cow. I think they bred a cow with a sheepdog.
So a bull gets getting it on with a deer, and the buck is forced to watch. He's sitting there. He has to sit and watch because like a bull versus I don't know. I don't think a buck could take out a bull. What do you think, Red Six? A buck versus a bull, full on buck, full rack.
Bull.
Yeah, I think the bull would probably knock the rack off the buck.
Yeah,
No,
one
deer are
smash and
pretty
you're done.
nasty.
Yeah, they are. You're right. And I just don't know how the deer would get to the bull, really, like to its face.
Have
I
you
don't
ever
know.
seen a deer attack? They don't generally attack with their horns. They attack with their feet.
Depends on if it's rut season. Then they would probably go horn to horn with a bull. That's interesting, but not something I want to make happen, guys. But let's see. I don't. I just want to see where they talk about jumping to humans. In the U.S. and Canada, CWD has gained attention not only because it affects big game animals, but also because of the possibility that it could jump the species barrier. Now we're getting to it. Now we're getting to the meat and potatoes, if no pun intended, about this picture. Deer, elk, and moose could affect livestock, other mammals, birds, or even humans. Epidemiologists say the absence of a spillover case yet is one of the cluster of fatal. Well, I missed something. Case yet does not mean it will not happen. CWD is one of the cluster of fatal neurological disorders that includes BSE. BSE, mad cow disease. Okay, now we're getting into that cow connection. Mad cow disease outbreak in Britain provide an example of how overnight things can get crazy when a spillover event happens from, say, livestock to people. Anderson says we were talking about the potential of something similar occurring. No one is saying is definitely going to happen, but it's important for people to be prepared. Well, I think that's enough for now. Yeah, what do you all think in the comments? Ashley says, just don't get bit by the cow or the deer. Yeah, or any wild animal, really. I went ahead and begrudgingly got my dog the rabies shot. I was going to avoid doing so, but kind of have to have it for certain things. And since I take her to different events and stuff like that with me, it's probably smart.
I would
But,
be more concerned about her getting what is that, distemper, than rabies.
I've heard it before, but I don't know what it is exactly.
Most dogs die from it, and if you're lucky enough for your dog or cat not to die from it, it usually leaves them with terrible brain damage.
Yeah, she does seem a little brain damaged.
Like, I don't get my dog. I don't really take my animals anywhere, so I get a rabies vaccination once every, I don't know, 3 to 5 years. But I usually do a distemper vaccination every year because it's real easy to transmit. It's about as transmissible as what a cold is.
How did we ever survive with dogs before that?
I don't know. We probably didn't have as large of a population of dogs as we do now that came into contact with each other.
You think maybe it has to do with like stray dogs and passing diseases around? Maybe a genetic thing from people overbreeding the same line.
Probably. I think there's a lot of
probably.
factors. I think
probably playing with all kinds of genetics.
More in proximity with one another, and people are, going out in the wild more, going hiking, taking their dogs and stuff. I don't know. I think that it's just proximity to things that cause infections of different stuff.
Yeah, and there's more things out there for animals, just like there are for humans, because of all the chemicals and such, so on and so forth.
We just
Many,
live in such a toxic world now, and all of that stuff really impacts our DNA and animals' DNA. Animals aren't that much different in a lot of ways than humans are. Their DNA is subject to environmental stressors just like humans, plants, all of that stuff. Everything gets impacted by stuff. So I just feel like a lot of that stuff is genetic changes. But rabies, to be fair, rabies has been around for a long, long time. We've known about rabies since, I don't know, probably the 1800s at least, I want to say. But we live in a global world now, too. I mean, what is that disease? Ebola. Ebola is a disease that's associated with a certain area of Africa, but it's been found outside of that area in the last 20 something years. We had a Ebola crisis here in the United States when Obama was president. I think it was Obama. It's either Obama or Bush, but I think it was Obama. So diseases that, malaria was another one that were confined to a certain area of the world. We find them outside of those areas now because somebody went there and brought it back and introduced it outside.
yeah, I mean, we've done that a lot of times and it didn't work out well, like the frogs in Australia, or was it Hawaii? One of the other. They brought frogs from one to the other. I think they brought them from Hawaii to Australia, and now like there's nothing that kills them, so they're just there's people that are literally paid to go out and just kill as many as possible.
Yeah. Well, same with snakes in Florida, those big old pythons and boas and stuff that people, got them as pets, and they got too big for them to take care of or whatever their purpose was. And they let them loose out in the Everglades. And now they're, a huge problem, invasive species. That's one of the reasons why, I don't know, have you ever traveled like from California, out of California or into California? It's not so much traveling out of California, but traveling into California. Have you ever driven across the state line into California?
Yeah, but I was in a military vehicle.
So I moved to California, and then there were times, the times that I came home, I usually drove. And when you cross over the California state line, you have to declare any plants or produce that you're bringing over. So let's say you went to Albertsons or Kroger or whatever,
So treat it like a
and you bought a
country.
bag
Yeah.
of peaches, you had to show them your bag of peaches because they are trying to combat, because they have a very large agricultural, I think a third of the produce that in the United States comes from California. And so they have these checkpoints, kind of like Border Patrol checkpoints, where you have to declare any plants or fruit that you're bringing in from out of state because of invasive bugs that come in with it.
So, got a couple stories here. Elisa May, come on over to Rumble. Don't you have Rumble? Got 10 awesome Rumblers hanging out. You're all by yourself on the YouTube. Looks like Crippled Country Boy or Cannabis Cowboy. My bad. I'm looking at my smaller screen. Crippled Cannabis Cowboy, bro. I know you got Rumble too, but it looks like you're going to hang out with the dog. I see that. No worries. But yeah, come on over to Rumble. Some kind of beetle, a bug that can kill or agriculture. Like you mean like a locust swarm, or like there's tons of different bugs that if infested could kill a lot of crops.
Here in New Mexico, we have a very large pecan industry in my area down here, and I want to say they have some kind of a weevil that kills the trees or something.
Oh, weevils wobble, but they don't fall down. Got him. Got him with that one. You're muted, Red Six. Anything going on in the world of what was tonight's winner on the
MT Reagan? He's a veteran from Peoria. He runs his own kind of veteran organization that he does art. So pretty cool.
Nice. Well, congrats. An art organization for veterans.
Yeah, it's called 22 VA.
Elisa May, that's Rumble is free. There are cane toads. Oh. Yeah, the cane toads in Florida. People spray them with sprays with icy freeze. Freeze them before they put them in the freezer for their death. What? Just kill them? They spray them with icy freeze before they put them in the freezer. Wow. All right, I have to redo this wheel because it kept the wrong wheel. I gotta take off. Let's see. Shouts out to number 18, Elizabeth Hale won yesterday, and number 15, Kim Marston won on Tuesday. So 1 through 17 minus the 15. If we can get up to 20 again on the Rumble, I'll do a door prize, but it looks like we're hanging around 10 tonight. That's okay. I had a pretty good week over on Rumble. If you're watching for the first time, consider hitting that follow button. Let's see. Oh. Go. This is our last spin for the week. I guess I will check it real quick. There's my details on locals. We got 70 members. Once we get to 100 members, oh, here's the after show that you all missed out on if you don't pay for it. Yeah, we got 70 members right now. Once we get to 100 members, I'm going to be doing a very big giveaway with every piece of swag that I have from Indoor Farmer, plus more, and then some. In fact, here, we'll just put us back up. It's not really any personal information, but it does show a bunch of people's alter egos on locals. Let's make sure nobody's needs added to the wheel. See, Joe Orzel, I think, needs a number. There we go. That's why we checked. Joe needs a number 19. Number 19. Number 19 to Joe Orzel. There you go. And keep opening that by accident. The way to go. All right, let's shuffle it in a little bit. Thank you guys for popping in over on the Rumble. and the YouTube and the X and the Kick. I see some friends on Kick. In fact, let me look here. Let's see. You see the Kick chat over here? We had Jess and Terry and Margaret and Cindy Lou who was no more than two who. So thank you all for popping in on the Kick. But mostly we got 10 awesome Rumblers right now and 56 people popping in over through the X, but they don't tell me who's actually there at the moment. Diane is there right now. Doesn't say the concurrent viewers, so it's annoying. That's why we like Rumble right now. If it said 56 concurrent viewers, then of course I'd be like, well, everybody head over to X. It's kind of like a musical chairs. Whichever one's doing the best, head over there. Head on.
Yeah, right.
Do it. All right. Good luck, everybody. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Oh, I gotta finish making the game for game night, and I'm hoping to remember in about an hour or so or less on the after show. I think I'm gonna pull up the game and work on it. Show you get a sneak peek of the game for Sunday on the Indoor Farmer game night. Some of you really just like to see what the game is each week. Don't necessarily, watch it all. Margaret, what? Did you say Red?
No.
I thought I heard Margaret. I found my way. Oh, Lisa's over there. Yes. Oh, Margaret is over there too. Hey, Margaret. It's a hand heart. What she gave us. Yay! Now we have 11 over on the left. Number four. All right, let's find out who that might be. Got some other news. Trying to find non-political stuff, but there's a casino, MGM Casino marketing director caught on hidden camera. I'm not going to hire whites, he says. It sucks. Let's see. Male runner wins gold in girls varsity 400 meter at track meet in Portland. Sets season record. That's from today. Anything else? Oh, snap. This is weird. It says Laken Riley's killer's brother's former roommate to be deported over fake green card. That is a crazy connection they have to make for that headline. Federal judge orders Trump admin to return trans inmates to women's prisons. Oh, wow. Restart their sex change treatments. Okay. The struggle begins.
Wait, what are they saying?
Federal judges are out here trying to sort of force the executive branch to do what they say. Basically, there's a judge that said that his power is comparable to Trump's, and he's just like a lower court judge. So I want to look that story up. But this is on the Post Millennial, and it says federal judge orders Trump admin to return trans inmates to women's prison, restart their sex change treatments. Judge ruled that the two transgender inmates must be immediately transferred back to women's facilities, citing irreparable harm. This guy here.
And what's the source of that?
Post Millennial. From Katie Daviscourt from today. There's a whole story about it. We can check it out, but I'm actually interested to find out. Judge.
I don't know. I don't have anything against transgender people. But I don't think that we should be paying for their proclivities.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to find the story now, but there's a judge that just thinks because he overturned something that it has to happen. There's a chain of command on the judicial side too, with the Supreme Court.
Yeah, but the Supreme Court has to pick the case up. They have to grant a writ of cert. And if they don't, if the middle court and the high court don't pick it up, then the lower court ruling stands. Yeah, I agree with you, Diana. I don't think that taxpayers have any business paying for that stuff. Well, you might get a nose job, but it won't be by a doctor. Have you ever had testing for heavy metal?
No. You're muted, Waylon.
No, and I don't know how you would do that because you go to the doctor and get blood testing, and they barely want to tell you anything. Your cholesterol is kind of high. Eat more fish. It's like
You have to request it, but I was just curious because, being military, we were exposed. I think next time I go to the doctor, I'm going to ask for a heavy metal test.
Heavy metal.
Because, that stuff's associated with like Parkinson's disease and MS and all kinds of nasty
all kinds of stuff. Well, what I do is I set magnets on me. I put magnets, like lay them on my chest, and it pulls it out through the pores. The magnet's got all like a bunch of fuzzy black stuff on it. No, I mean, honestly, they have found some people are praising ivermectin for a lot of different things. Like, say, someone said removing microplastics, and I'm like, I don't know. Are you sure? Like, it's antiviral, but a lot of people are saying different things. I'm interested to try it just because it really doesn't have necessarily a downside, and it's fairly inexpensive. So I'm probably going to give that a shot. But yeah, so I can't find the story exactly, but it had to do with the danger, the violent criminals being sent over to, was it Venezuela? No. Who was it that was taking the
I thought the violent ones were being sent to Guantanamo.
Maybe that was it. Let's see. Deportees.
A lot of that Venezuelan gang was picked up.
Thank God.
Yeah, it was another country though. It was
They pick up the MS-13 leader too.
MS-13. There's two Mexican gangs, MS-13 and something else. I can't remember.
There's one from February 18th showing them lining up to be on the plane, but
airstrike the president ordered on the terrorist group in, was it Yemen?
Yeah.
Sent to El Salvador. Their identities hidden, faces forced relocation to resign labor. And so, like, the plane was over the international waters, over the ocean, on its way, and a lower court judge decides to say, "Oh no, bring him back. You have to bring him back." and so it's like you can't do that when you have like a military mission with across international waters, and then to say, "Oh no, just turn." The judge kind of thought that planes could be just like turned around, But here is the some of the footage of they were being shaved.
Is that at Guantanamo?
This from the Post here. I don't know who GGL is. They're not verified, but Trump's deportees are sent to El Salvador with their identities hidden, facing forward, or forced relocation to a foreign labor camp without due process or proof of wrongdoing. This is someone who's obviously against it.
That reminds me of basic training.
All these people are being deported.
Those guys.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. So here's another. Here's a breaking 9/11. They have the golden check mark, which costs like shit. I don't know, $500 a month or something crazy like that. And they're clearly happy about it. Bye latest deportations. Flight leaves Seattle en route to repatriate. What am I reading here? Repatriate. Oh, geez. Okay. Illegal aliens to their home countries. Look, I don't think I've ever.
Did you hear they sent a Navy ship over to the Gulf of Mexico?
A Navy ship to the Gulf of America?
Whatever. It's still Gulf of Mexico.
It's North America.
It's still the Gulf of Mexico.
Hey, places change names,
It hasn't changed names internationally. He doesn't have the authority to change it internationally.
Who named it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We got him. Says currently event. Have you seen current event? Have you seen the video of the teacher smacking the nonverbal kid? Two of them were evil videos on YouTube, probably on Rumble also. We need cameras in the classroom now. We can look that up. What the heck is that? That's from last November. Holy shit! No, thank you. Kids are being put. That's being put in front of kids.
What is it?
That was a very deranged person in a wild costume, in my opinion, doing a sexy dance in front of that child. I don't want to go back up again all the way. December 19th. Yeah, I'm not seeing it here. Maybe there is another. Let's see. Is this a recent thing happening, Joe? This is a news website. There should be story here. 320 Washington teacher abuse of child molestation avoids prison by agreeing to plea deal. Jeez. Moore was charged with third-degree child molestation. Second, okay, I don't think this is exactly the same as what you were talking about, but here's one from yesterday. Female Indiana teacher faces charges of child molestation. Holy shit. Where's the more of the geez over forcing teens to have group sex while wearing scream masks? What the heck?
Yeah.
Prosecutors. It says scream masks, and then it says prosecutors. What does that mean?
It means read more.
That's the headline, though.
Yeah, but read more. They sensationalize.
Well, I can do that.
They sensationalize headlines. to get your
We have to
attention.
actually click on it and read the article. Yeah, everybody. Yeah, I see that a lot. Prosecutors. It just stops at prosecutors. A former Indiana high school teacher faces 29 charges related to numerous sex crimes involving minor students. Brittany, they named the person, 31, of Martinsville, allegedly initiated group sex with several teen victims after giving them drugs. Prosecutors said, prosecutors said she made the minor boys wear ghost face masks from the Scream movies. These kids probably never saw those movies. They're like, I got to watch this movie so that my teacher can gangbang me. Like, what the fuck? Okay. What?
Probably have.
You think they have seen it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I guess it probably holds up a little bit compared to like a special effects movie. During sexual intercourse. So yeah, they had to wear masks.
Not that part of the movie though.
Wow. Yeah. Former teacher of Eminence High School was taken into custody in February and has been booked into the Morgan County Jail on $150,000 bail. Authorities said there are at least 5 minor victims, with some as young as 13. News 8 reports. Authorities launched an investigation in August 2024 for 2 students, both of whom were teaching assistants. Reported to school officials that this teacher allegedly sent them sexually explicit messages on Instagram, which were sent on vanish mode. The messages reportedly included sexual charges and charged images of the teacher and videos of her sex toys and stripper pole. Wow. She was like putting her fishing pole out there trying to catch a bunch of kids, and some of them finally told on her. Police searched her home and located a stripper pole and several sex toys in drawers. She told investigators she does not remember sending the messages to her former teen students, and they must have been sent unintentionally. She claimed the stripper pole was for workout purposes. Yeah, it's a workout pole. You sent the story to me? Okay, I'll pull that up in a moment here. What happened to this song? I'm not hearing it. Not hearing it there, VOC. VOC. What happened, VOC? Oh, the sound went way down for some reason. Okay, that should be. Yeah, that's not very audible. There we go. Sorry about that. Where the heck was I? She resigned August 23 after personal reported her to the Indiana Department of Child Services and Law Enforcement. Prosecutors charged her in November with 2 felony counts of dissemination of matter harmful to minors, and 2 misdemeanor counts of harassment using a computer or other electronic network. Oh snap! I can't believe she used electronic devices to send that stuff. A woman came forward to police to report that her minor grandson had been allegedly molested several times beginning October 23. This resulted in her February arrest. 2023, so it happened for about a year. Okay, so let me check. Let me grab this story from Elisa. Here it is. Lisa, I'll send you the link if you want to pop up. Here's the story.
2 administrators are on leave.
It's a YouTube video. I don't think we'll be able to watch it. Video shows two. Well, we can watch it on mute, I guess. Millsap. I thought it said Millslap for a second there. Oh wow! Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Oh my God.
Yeah, let's play that on slow motion there. It doesn't even look like the kid is anywhere close to her. Maybe. It's very hard to tell.
Yeah.
That's really like almost like she was just saying, get out of here, you knucklehead.
Well, not only that, but like, I don't
can't
know,
tell.
there's stuff in the way.
Yeah, like that kid, it looks like there's somebody swinging on a swing right there. And she's telling that kid to get out of the way of this. What the heck? Out of here. Where was it? Did you see that rope that was swinging into view there? There's a black rope that swings into view like that thing is a swing set, and she was making sure that kid didn't get held. Okay, there's more footage here coming up. They're gonna play the same footage. There's no other footage, I guess. There's a swing right there. It's one of those big round
Who did
swings.
she hit? Did she hit the kid in the striped shirt that's walking?
I'm not sure exactly who they're saying, but video shows
down there in the corner of the screen.
There's a slap at a child in a special. I'm reading the caption here. Special needs classroom. A 10-year-old boy walks away until another educator yells at him. I said, "Come here." The educator appears to repeatedly hit the child with a toy before throwing it at him. Holy cow. I'm going to hit you with what? Chewing on things like my child can't speak. He can't come home and tell me, "Mommy, they hit me," or "Mommy, they're mean to me." Like he's nonverbal. Wow. Even my verbal son probably, I don't know if he could tell me. Like he might be able to tell me, but there's a good chance that he wouldn't. Are some of the most vulnerable among us. Yeah. That's just that right there is that's enough to put a full investigation into that school. Do you need to hear the voices to know what's going on? No. I was just saying, I at first I was going to play the video, but I mean the video itself might get us flagged on YouTube, but we're also on Red's Facebook too, so I didn't want to do too much of that. There's no other footage, it looks like. Yeah, I mean, we kind of. I would like to hear the teacher yelling, but we got the gist of it. That's for sure. I don't want to take too many chances of it going down. Without the video, would people believe? Right. That's the thing, though. But I can understand both perspectives, and I think all perspectives in this particular realm are true. In that, yes, there are good teachers and bad teachers, and yes, there are good parents and bad parents. there's no, I don't know if there's there's any way to measure the amount of, good and bad in both sides if you want to have that debate, but that's really not the point. I'm just saying, like, you're always going to have good examples of bad people in almost any situation, and unfortunately there's a lot of bad parents out there, and unfortunately there's a lot of bad teachers too that do different things that we don't like, and maybe they're things that some people might maybe like, but a lot of times it has to do with consent with the parents on that respect. I think a lot of times we're seeing things happen in our schools, and parents maybe just aren't paying attention enough, and when they do pay attention they see it happening, and then they kind of it invokes a reaction, like a sudden, emotional reaction. A lot of times with say just like administrative changes that the parents don't like, or say books that have crazy outlandish stuff in them. The parents are like, well, hold on, wait, how long has this been going on? Like we'll suddenly wake up and then kind of get angry all of a sudden. And so that's kind of the fault of both sides, right? That's the fault of parents for not paying attention, the fault of teachers. Sometimes maybe a teacher that doesn't speak up, that knows the other teacher might be doing things. Like there's all sorts of blame to be had in these situations. But that video right there is a pretty cut and dry, clean cut, a bad guy to point at, more or less, for lack of a better term. But they're definitely going to be getting into that, I'm sure, some investigation. That's insane. That's if I saw that, I feel like there should be cameras in the classroom, and I don't know why. I don't. They say it's because of like privacy. They wouldn't want some parent to be in there, like some person to be watching the cameras and watching other people's kids, and something to do with that. And it's like, well, I don't know. We did those Zoom meetings for school during COVID.
Yeah, but those kids blank their images out.
I did Zoom meetings and nobody did that.
Well, I will tell you, as a teacher that taught through both school years, my students blanked their videos out.
You mean they had no video on their screen? They just had it audio only?
I was teaching to blank black screens.
Not for us, but we just had everybody, like we could see everybody.
Well, for your kids, it's a little different because I don't know, but yeah, it was unnerving, and I would just prattle on with whatever I was teaching, because it was like teaching to nothing. No questions, nothing. It was crazy.
We got this person on YouTube, like, bro, you lost your privileges for us to put your comments on screen after all some of the crazy shit I saw you posting a little while ago. Like, you can keep in there commenting all you like, but that was some messed up comments. Lisa, we asked our district, and they said the teachers union would have to vote on it. Cameras in the classroom. The teachers aren't going to vote for that. Yeah, I mean, look, I get it. Like I try to think from both perspectives. You guys know this. And as a teacher, could you imagine in any job? Think of any job, and there are plenty of jobs where you are on camera. I'm telling you, it's a different feeling. The anxiety level is different. I was a security guard at the hospital for a long time, and not even just that, but not being in security, I was still on cameras when I worked in surgery. I worked in post-op anesthesia, the post-anesthesia care unit. I also worked in supply, and there's cameras on you at most of those places. Yeah. But when you are at a job already for years, and someone's saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're going to start putting cameras on you," that I could see that being pretty stressful, even for a good teacher, right? But I can also see the other perspective, and that's we could find out. We might find out maybe let's give it the benefit of the doubt and say we might find out there's a lot less bad teachers out there than we thought. Okay, great. Now we have somewhere to stand on. But what if we find out the other way around, and we find out, Kim, you're like in the small percentage of like the ones who are just doing their job, and you find out maybe there's a higher percentage of ones doing these crazy scream mask orgies and shit. What the hell? That is insane. I've seen other teachers where they get with like a single student, you know, and they get this like get in trouble. Maybe they fall in love or something like that. That's happened a few times. I have never once seen an orgy for one. For two, here, wear these scream masks. Like what? Like are they?
I
And
know.
I just
It's
had-
like, what the freak kind of shit is that?
I have so many more questions. Like, was it just a bunch of boys and her? Was it like this weird sort of like reverse harem kind of kink thing going on, or were there women and men, or well, boys and girls? Obviously, they're pre 18, but like that's just
That's gross.
yeah. I mean, just like where would you come up with this? Like you know that teacher has an OnlyFans, and if not, if she didn't,
Oh yeah.
she does now. If she didn't before, you know she does now. Like that's or she will once she can in the prison.
Can you do that in prison?
Prison OnlyFans. I don't know. They get that shit in there somehow. You know,
That's nasty.
healthcare families are allowed to post cameras in Illinois in their room now, just to have or they just have to post it in their cameras, or if they're post it that there's cameras. Yeah, makes sense. We got them. Yeah, no good reason it should not matter if cameras in the halls. Yeah, that's true. Teachers getting in trouble and they don't want that. Yeah. I mean, I could see that perspective too. Thinking from the teachers union as a sort of living, breathing entity almost, and one thing that would probably be, you know, something they would fight against is cameras because, you know, who wants that as an employee? So just in a general sense, even though, yes, we could look at it nefariously and say like, look, they're just protecting all the bad teachers. Well, I don't think it's that way. I just think that they're going to lean more towards the side of, I don't want cameras in the classrooms because they're the people there. I don't know if constituents is the right word for the unions, but they're people. They're union members. They're members. That's a good word. But they have to do what's best for what their members would want. I mean, maybe you could say they don't always, because that's why I don't like unions. Unions are not always doing things that I think are good for their members. That's my point, my perspective on it. But I think in this case, you could at least contribute an equal playing field by saying, well, yes, of course they would fight for that because that's what their members would want. So I don't know, Kim, you can weigh in on this anytime. What do you think about cameras in the classroom? That's kind of a contentious subject.
Well, I think the reason why they wouldn't, in my mind, you know, just sitting here listening to that and thinking about it, I think the reason why they wouldn't want cameras in the classroom is because there's a lot of contentious stuff that goes on between teachers and administration. And you have some administrators that are not particularly, you can just have administrators that are real assholes. I remember I wasn't there at my school when this guy was there, but there was an administrator, a head administrator that came in, and he was like a fucking Hitler kind of a guy. And I don't know, it was bad. And they finally got rid of him. He finally got fired, but because of just so many complaints against him and stuff. But you just get administrators that have access to grind. And so if they have carte blanche where they can just sit there and pick apart what a teacher does in their classroom, you know, it just, I don't know.
Oh yeah, could you imagine the eggshells you'd have to walk on? Well, I mean, that is kind of how it is with other jobs where you're on the camera. But having people's kids, like, I don't know, there is a bit of a difference. It's probably, I would almost liken it to hospitals or police where, you know, we expect such a high level of integrity from these jobs, from teachers, from police, from you know, medical personnel. But you know, it's funny that we all sort of agree that politicians are slimy no matter what. We don't expect that same level of integrity from them. But we do from like, I would lump them together, teachers and first responders, medical personnel. And I think having the camera on 2 out of 3 of those things at all times, there's something to be said about that. Teachers, I think it would suck as if I was a teacher, I probably wouldn't want it, but coming from my perspective, it seems like it might be a inevitability, just to kind of end some of this argument. You know what I mean, Kim? Some of the demonization that people have against teachers. But then could you imagine?
It could very well just be ammunition that they get for axes to grind. I mean, it goes both ways.
Nitpick every little thing.
One of the things that I am totally against, and this doesn't have anything to do with me being a teacher. It has to do with me being somebody that's been molested. But I would absolutely be against anybody having access to watching video, live video recordings of children in a classroom, like parent access, because you never know what the hell pervert is sitting on the other side of that camera. So I would be absolutely against anybody having access to video of.
Let me argue with that, because we don't know what
you're not going to win an argument with me on that.
Give me one statement.
With my grandkids, I promise you, you fuck with my grandkids, you fuck with any kid.
What about having?
Let me tell you something. I came into teaching right after Columbine. Okay, so I've always locked my classroom doors, and I have always kept a baseball bat in my classroom, because if you come in after my kids, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you. You're going to wish to God that you had never come in my classroom, because I will kill you. I will take you apart limb for limb. And if I ever found out,
I'm not saying you're not
if I ever find out that somebody is perving on one of my students, I'm going to find you.
What would you do?
I'm going to send somebody that will find you, and you will never be seen from or heard from again. I promise you that.
Vigilante, get them.
No, there's no vigilante. You get the Italian side of the family there.
Okay, well, let me ask you this: if you found out the teacher next door in the room next to you was running a train on 7 kids.
Running a train? What do you mean?
I don't have time to explain that. Basically, just kidding. It is basically an orgy with only one person being used and abused.
What? Only one person being used?
Yes, only one person.
All the rest are wearing ghost face masks.
They're all, yes. Anyway,
what is it, like a gangbang? Is that what a gangbang?
Yes. So anyway, I'm just saying, like, your whole argument fell apart the moment you said, well, there could be all kinds of different, or I forget exactly the words we said. There could be any kind of pervert out there watching those cameras, right? Well, what if it's the pervert in the classroom having kids wear Halloween masks and all kinds of other rituals or whatever? Like, so that argument, so that goes both ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that person freaking wasn't like doing that shit in the classroom. That was happening in text messages.
But she's a teacher though, so maybe.
Yeah, but the thing is that's not something you're gonna pick up on a friggin' camera, dude.
Oh well, touche. I will give you that. Maybe she was.
That's
good
why
about
teachers. That's why you're not allowed to have, like, I can't give out my personal number to parents or students to, like, text. Now I can set up like a Google Voice account because that's accessible and people can, like, go in and look at, texts and stuff like that. But I cannot set up a text or phone calls on my personal phone because of that kind of shit. And if you get, there's people that are going to do that, but do you think a camera is going to catch that kind of shit? No.
What if she was like, shit, what was that? What was that famous movie? Was it Sharon Stone or whatever, where she's sitting there and she crosses her legs and
Oh.
crosses them back the
You
other
think
way?
you're gonna pick that up on camera?
What if she's like, what if the
The
kid's
only
like,
way
why
you're
is the
gonna
teacher
pick
always
that
sitting
up
there with
on
her legs
camera is
open
if
up?
her coochie is facing the camera, dude.
What if she's just like, I love being on camera, I don't know. I'm just saying maybe there could catch things like this, or not catch things. So let's be really real here, guys. Say that classroom with the abusive teacher had cameras already. I can guarantee you this. Well, man, I can't guarantee you anything, but what I can say is those teachers any teacher that would hit a student like that would probably either think twice. I mean, they have to be really off the rocker to go ahead and do it anyway if they're on camera. But if they're on camera, they probably wouldn't do it. But we also wouldn't know that they were a person that wanted to hit kids, because to Kim's point, they wouldn't do that in front of the camera because they know it's there. But then maybe they just think about it all the time. Maybe they would do it somewhere like off camera because they just had to get it out of their system. I don't know. But there are cases where it's like if you put someone on camera, yes, it's gonna deter them from doing it, but that doesn't make them a person that doesn't want to do it. That doesn't take away
I
that.
will say, and I love my kids. I love what I do. I love my kids. I go in, with integrity and try to do the right thing every day. But that's not to say that there aren't days when I sit there and go, oh my God, I just want to knock the shit out of these kids and leave this school. You have days that are frustrating. It's frustrating being a teacher. People that have no idea what it's like. I would never teach elementary. I think elementary is probably the hardest age level to teach because you have to teach those kids. You have to make those kids behave. You have 20 kids that you have to try and teach, and they're all going in different directions. There's just a lot of stuff that goes into teaching.
You got to be like a performer in that type.
Oh
of
yeah,
teacher,
you do.
like,
I often refer to myself.
Get their attention, kids.
Do you know what a plate spinner is? Do you know what a plate spinner is?
Oh yeah, and they got the
plate spinning on those sticks, and one's going, and you have to constantly. That's kind of what it's like to be a teacher. It's like, and it's constant. It's
juggling.
I
can juggle.
It's a very stressful job, and so there's days when you don't feel well, or you're tired, or you're stressed, or whatever. And there's days when you just sit there and you go, Lord help me, I want to kill all these kids. I love them to death, but I want to kill these kids and get the hell out of here.
Don't say that, Kim. They're going to clip that. They're going to clip it. No, I get it, and I think every it's called burnout, and some people say it's actually
it's not burnout. Burnout is a different thing. Burnout is a different thing, but there's days when you're just like you don't feel. It's hard being in there, and there's a lot of pressure that's put on teachers. People have no idea, unless you've actually been in the profession, you just don't understand the pressures that are put on teachers. And like, I hate taking days off. I hate it because it wreaks havoc in my classroom when I'm gone for a day. My lessons don't get taught, and I'm behind, and whatever things in my job, and my job isn't just about teaching. I'm a special ed teacher, so I carry a caseload. There's just so many things that you do, so many tasks that you do every single day. And when you take a day off, or you're sick or whatever, you're behind, and it's hell to pay, and if you have kids that have any kind of like abandonment issues or anxieties, or that don't handle change very well, you pay for it in behaviors when you come back to work after being out, because kids they get upset when you're just not there. So, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. And there's a lot of things that people, unless you're just, you're in the classroom and you do it day in and day out for any length of time, you just don't understand it.
Yeah, I get it. I think working with kids is stressful for anyone, including parents. But then imagine having a whole room of them. But it is
Well,
I
it's
could see it
managing.
being.
It's like herding cats in a lot of ways, and
Yeah,
my
see it.
hats go off to elementary teachers because you get these feral little beasts. And
Yeah,
I love little kids, man. When I feel the worst in life, I go sit and talk to a 3-year-old, 4-year-old kid, because that innocence and whatever that they have, it's refreshing and it recharges my psyche or whatever. But they're a bunch of feral little beasts, and elementary teachers take these kids in as preschoolers and kindergarteners, and they have to teach them how to do school, and it's not easy. And it even though the kids get older, it never gets easier because you're still managing a bunch of little personalities that would rather be anywhere but school,
well,
or
and it's
maybe
not just
they
that.
don't.
They're all trying to figure out like their place in the pecking order and trying to,
Yeah,
maybe
and they
move
may
up or
not be
down. Or
interested in whatever it is that you're teaching. They'd rather be playing,
oh
or
man, I remember that.
all of that
My
shit.
my freshman year algebra teacher, she had this thing where she didn't care. Like if you wanted to learn, you wanted to learn, and she was facing the board, and she would just be doing her thing. But there'd be kids all over the classroom. Like this group of people over here were singing, and then this kid was like throwing paper in every direction in the room, and like this other group was sitting there talking and passing notes. Like everybody in the room was no one was paying attention, and she didn't make anyone pay any attention because her philosophy was, well, if you fail, you fail. And I'm like, I'm over here. I would have paid attention, but like stuck in the middle because my ADD ass. I'm just like paying attention to all of it. I'm trying I
Right.
I wasn't involved in any of it. Fuck. I'm like, just the odd guy sitting there in the corner, with the trench coat on and stuff, and just like, no, I'm just
Trench
kidding.
coat. Were you
No,
a
I'm kidding.
flasher?
I'm kidding. But no, but like I just, I'd
All
be
right,
just
you perv. Now the
distracted by
real
everything.
Waylon comes out.
Call me
I don't know.
trench coat farmer.
I understand because I had a child that was in special ed. My son was in a behavior disorder class. He had learning disabilities, but he was also in a behavior disorder class because he had behavior problems. And, when Taylor went through school, they did restraints. They restrained kids. And so, there were times when I would walk into the classroom and the teachers would be sitting on my son, holding him down or restraining him, whatever method of restraint they were using at the time. I myself, I used to teach BD, and I was trained. I was PROACT trained in restraints. We worked with very violent kids in California. I worked in an SED school. They had been kicked out of every level of public education open to them. And so, but the way that I ran my classroom with my personality, I only ever restrained one kid in my classroom ever. And, I did it by holding on to, I had a hold of his wrist. He was a real scrawny little shit. And I, just held on to his wrist so that he was, hitting things. And so I just held on to his wrists until I could get him to, calm down and level out. But, I was fortunate with the kids that I had, and then just my personality and the way that I dealt with them, that I never needed to personally restrain any students in my classes. But I did participate in restraints at that school. We carried walkie-talkies, and You know, I will never forget the day that we had to restrain a 6'7", 300-pound young man that had he had a traumatic brain injury, and he flew off the handle, and he was a big mother trucker, and we had to put him in a 5-point restraint, you know, because he was being violent.
I'll be right back.
So-
I'll still be able to hear you, but I gotta use the restroom.
So I just, you know, I get it because I've been a parent that had a kid that was in situations where where physical things were happening to him. And there were some concerns that I had with one of the teachers in particular was a pretty heavy set lady. And, you know, I came in and she had her full weight sitting on my son. And I said, you know, you could crush my son. You could make his heart stop beating. You can arrest his lungs from breathing. And I don't want to see you sitting on my child again, you know. And so I addressed it that way. And, you know, they didn't do it. They restrained him differently in the future, you know. So I understand, you know, parents have concerns and stuff like that, but I don't know. There's a lot of mama bears out there. There's a lot of helicopter parents. And, you know, I just think that a lot of the times they jump into the middle of your chest before trying a different way of effectuating change. So, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's hard.
Kids that are
hard
more
both
fragile, like, you know, like Elisa's son, who's nonverbal. You know, I personally, I'm trying to think, because I've been teaching 24 years now, 25 years. I don't think I have run into a teacher that has ever been abusive towards a student, any place that I've worked.
Well, that's good. I don't think it's every teacher, but
No,
you know,
it's not. I don't think it's every teacher. I think most teachers are conscientious, you know, but you do run into people that are, and it's like, I don't know, it's scary. You know, I don't know what I would do if I had a child that was significantly disabled like that, where they were nonverbal and, you know, just not just nonverbal, but really, you know, significantly disabled, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do if I was a parent of a child like that. I don't know what my comfort level would be of that.
Well, I was accused of some pretty, or it was brought up when I was live with some people the other day, and you know, trying to use my son as an insult, and it's just like there's a lot of ignorance out there, and there's a lot of people that will do some pretty shitty things. I tell you, the kids that are nonverbal, but not just nonverbal, but high risk for things like abuse are also, you know, not just physical abuse, but sexual abuse.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that worries me, because my son is still not fully doing the number 2 yet, and so there still has to be a lot of adult, you know, interaction there, and it's something that, you know, it has to be a thing that I think about. You know what I mean?
Yes. What is that called? Inurosis or something like that? Does he have inurosis where he holds his poop? Or is it more of like I don't know. I think inurosis is like, I can't remember.
He's not getting the sit on the potty when he does it thing.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
But I mean, he's getting better. You know, it's a thing. It's a process. But
he will. You know, how old is he? 9?
10. He just turned 10 yesterday.
10. He'll get it. It just takes it takes longer for kids like that, you know. It just one day, you know, like when it comes to special ed kids, you cannot compare a special ed kid's development to that of somebody that's not in special ed. It's just their progress it takes longer for them to progress. But he will eventually, you know, he'll pick up a lot of skills. You know, you just have to keep plugging away and being super consistent with everything that you do that you want him to learn.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's reasonable, Lisa. You want to be able to meet in person every person that does the toilet time with your son. I think that's reasonable. And yeah, you may not be able to get to know them each like that well, but just having a face-to-face, eye-to-eye, you know, meeting. I think I let this cool down too much.
I don't know. Most of the teachers that I've ever encountered that, you know, were low incidence teachers are just, you know, really good with the kids. And I know that there's some that aren't. I don't know. It's never been my experience where I've been around people that.
It looked like it was two different teachers.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It might have been just the one, but it looked like two. And then I found the other two cases being just yesterday for the molestation.
Well, when my son was in middle school, we had a teacher and the aide, but the aide was doing things at the direction of the teacher, and she was doing some stuff to my son. And when I found out about it, I went down to the person that was in charge of special ed for the district. She had been my son's teacher when he was in DD preschool. And so we knew each other really, really well and had a somewhat personal relationship outside of school. But I went down to her with my documentation and I said, and she looked over everything and she's like, oh my God. She says, are you going to sue the district? And I said, the district isn't doing this to my child. The teacher is. And I said, I'm going after the teacher. And that teacher disappeared. She was a 25-year teacher. She retired and left the state.
Yeah, I mean, just like any profession, you'll have people that get into that profession just purely for the purpose of doing something.
Well, I don't know.
Evil.
She had been teaching for a long time and she just had a lot of bad behaviors and she knew a lot of people because she had been teaching for so long and she was in good with a lot of people and she got away with a lot of shit. And it's like,
I think it's complacency or just like
complacency and
there's no threat of
with stuff.
Well, but you're behind this protection. No offense, but the teachers union is this wall of protection that makes it almost impossible to get a teacher removed because of,
Well, it's not a wall of protection. It's holding administrators accountable for doing things the right way. There is a system for getting rid of bad teachers, but the problem is that most administrators don't want to fuck with it because
the seniority or whatever.
It's not tenure. It's not tenure and it's not seniority. What it is it's lazy administrators that don't want to go through the trouble of doing all the steps that it takes to remove a teacher, because it starts with, first you have conversations with them about whatever problem you're having with them. And then you have to put them on a growth plan and you have to document that. And it's not quick. It's not a quick thing. It's over time. And then after they're not demonstrating growth or whatever, then, you can seek to have them removed. The only cases where you cannot have a teacher removed is if, the teacher is there's a sexual kind of a thing or a physical abuse, some kind of danger to the kid kind of a thing. Can't even get, is typically what will get a teacher immediately removed.
Right. Like stuff like this obvious video of someone,
Yeah.
throwing a toy in the kid's face, and
Yeah.
like the words that were said, but we didn't get to hear them, but
Mhm.
read them anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
The guy that I replaced at my current job, I replaced him because he got fired. So I found out that one of the kids videotaped him cussing out one of the kids in the classroom, and he got fired for that.
that'll do
So
it.
yeah,
And kids with their phones now are probably gonna just be
yeah,
little hidden whistleblowers all the time on teachers. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm not necessarily against that, but I'm not necessarily for that. And let me tell you why. So about 12 years ago, I worked with this kid he was a little shit. And I didn't trust him because he would manipulate and twist and do all kinds of bullshit. And he came to me one day, he had an iPod that could record. And I was like, why do you have an iPod that you can record? I said, are you singing? What are you doing with that? And what he was doing is he was recording teachers trying to get them in trouble. So,
Well, I mean,
I don't know. You get
is there-
malicious kids and things can be taken out of context and,
that's
whatever.
the part. Yeah, that's the part
No.
there. It's like if they do that, if they take things out of context and go ahead and fire someone, like that video we just watched, the first part, definitely, I was like, whoa, that looks like I feel like maybe she was keeping the kid from being hit by the swing or whatever. But then the second one, I was like, oh, that's like a lot more clear-cut case.
Yeah.
So to your point, like I could see people on both sides of the first clip, but then like, no, there's not enough context here. That's not a good enough angle. That's my mind thinking like, well, hold on, let's wait a little bit. Let's see what comes out about it later. Anyway, guys, we're sitting at 2 hours 11 minutes. Good show. No one came up to hang out with us tonight in the boxes. Had some empty boxes flapping in the breeze tonight, but it's okay.
They're probably
We are.
because I was saying what I said.
Some people don't want to come up, and some people don't want to spar with the words. Some people are like, they just want to chill and like talk about whatever comes up and be like, yeah, man, just kind of move on. I don't know, but I can tell you that we're sitting at 15 awesome people on the Rumble right now, 59 coming through on the X, and well, maybe some on the Facebook even. So,
I shared out, so I don't know.
okay, yeah, I appreciate that. Share the Rumble if you want to share anything. It works. Good night, Diane.
I think I have a Rumble, but I don't really mess with it. I think
It's
I
like
set up
YouTube. You probably wouldn't like a lot of the big streamers on the Rumble, but there's some big sort of, I wouldn't even say right wing. I mean, they got like Russell Brand, Jimmy Dore. There's a bunch of people all over the spectrum, but a lot of commentators are the big streamers on Rumble right now. They do have gamers and other things going on now too. So, all right, I'm gonna head over to the after show and just chill out for a little bit. If anybody wants to join me, you're welcome to. Red 6, let me know about, what time. So you're gonna be doing the whole thing all day? You're doing the run, and
yeah, I'll be back and forth.
I don't think I'll be able to do the run. I probably should do the run. Definitely need to do the run, but I have to go to the arcade and do the whole get cake, and I got a package coming here. My son is going to be fucking stoked. This package, man. He's all of a sudden he's into Popeye the Sailor. Popeye the Sailor, man. Toot, toot, lives in a garbage can. Toot, toot. Oh, no, that's not right. But anyway, he suddenly loves them, and so I ordered a bunch of Popeye toys. Yeah, Rumble, Locals, and X. Diane, Locals. I'll be going to Locals here in a minute for a little after sesh. Obviously, I already seshed plenty, but I haven't finished the episode of Kill Tony. Need to finish that up and chillax for a little bit.
My granddaughter, her birthday is this weekend, and so I took her shopping this last Monday. I asked her, I said, "What do you want for your birthday this year?" And she said, "Arts and crafts supplies."
Like some legit goods, like a good pack of like wooden dowels and.
No,
Yeah,
she's
good
not
stuff.
into it. So she likes to make masks.
Okay, paper mache style.
No, she makes them out of like foam and fur and I don't know, all kinds of stuff. So we went and bought stuff for her to make her masks, hot glue sticks. She said, "Grandma, I want some hot glue sticks for my birthday."
Yeah, hot glue guns. Like the hot glue gun's bigger than her head. Like, load it up. Actually, I got one. I bought one that's kind of smaller. It's like $7 or $8. It wasn't that much.
Yeah, I think hers is like a little bitty
Hey.
one, but it was just funny because, you know, she's 12 years old. So usually
Diane.
little kids are asking for real expensive stuff, you know, or toys or whatever. No, not my granddaughter. She's got to have arts and crafts supplies, glue sticks.
Diane, you got to come over to the after show and hang out for your birthday, and I'll play the harmonica for you in 45 minutes. K-Frog, what's up,
Happy
my guy?
birthday, Diane.
Cool Frog.
So we went to Hobby Lobby and I spent like 85 bucks on arts and crafts stuff for her.
Yep.
And then she wanted to go to Hot Topic, you know, because everybody that age has got to go to Hot Topic. So we went to the mall and we went to Hot Topic and I bought her this backpack of, I don't know, some stuffed animal looking thing.
Awesome.
She's like, I don't think anybody's ever spent this much money on me for my birthday. And I said, "Baby, I spend this much money on you for your birthday every year and Christmas, and so do your parents."
Kim's like, "I wipe my ass with this much money on a daily basis."
And then we came over to my house and she clogged up my toilet.
Oh, fuck. You're like, "Oh, I forgot to buy toilet paper while we were out." No. That's that movie, Dumb and Dumber. It's like, don't use the toilet.
Oh, that was the funniest scene.
Yeah. Oh,
that was probably the best scene in that movie.
Guys, we're at 17. 3 more Rumblers, 3 more, and we'll do a. Is that 18? 18. 2 more in the Rumble, and we'll do a door prize on Rumble. 2 more people. Hit that reshare, hit that like if you haven't yet already. We appreciate it. If you think these conversations need to happen, you think people can gain perspective from seeing different angles, different opinions, different experiences, lived experiences, and not in that weird gay way, like the experiences, the lived experiences that people actually have had with these topics, including everything we talked about tonight. And I think people need to be able to hear both perspectives or multiple, like several different angles, to get their own, thing. But their own like outlook on it, or their own opinion, I guess. Everyone's opinions matter to them, right? So opinions matter. It's just that yours doesn't matter as much to mine as mine does to me. That's in almost every aspect. All right, we got to go.
I don't think that that's necessarily true. I think that, you can have an opinion, but, your opinion should change when you're
presented with information that's sufficient. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, sufficient. Like, don't come at me with stupid stuff because, like,
I agree.
But I don't know.
Well,
stay out of Texas.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of places that you could go and they would agree with you, and other places you go they wouldn't agree with you, like physical places that you can go to. But now online, everything is so concentrated that you can very easily be sucked into those echo chambers and sucked into some sort of bubble of people that all agree with the way you are, or think the way you would do, and never ever see it from the other person's perspective. That's why I like to talk. I enjoy talking to people that are non-cannabis people.
Why do you, what does that mean? Oh, about just why do you say that?
Just people to hear their perspective, why they're against it, why they have some problem with it or whatever. I mean, and a lot of times I can agree with them on there's this downside or this downside. Okay, there's a negative, there's a something bad, whatever. But not always. Like there, a lot of times, like wait, well, no. I did research on one claim that I heard, and it didn't turn out to be true. So, somebody listening to TV?
That's probably mine.
My headphones are about to die on me anyway, so I'm gonna have to switch over to my TV. But we're gonna switch over to the after show.
I'm gonna switch over to my bed.
Well, you have a good night.
All right, you too. Behave yourself. You too, Red Six.
Yep, you guys be here.
Cut that off. There we go.
You should get into the fray a little bit more, bud.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have to though. You don't have to.
He's like fat chance lady.
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna just sit here and rip my bong and.
Well, shit. I mean, last week
go at it.
We talked about electricity and had like 8 people up here just excited, all tickled pink to talk about it. And this week, like, current events doesn't always have to be a political conversation, but there are a lot of things politically happening, in the news. But there's also a lot of things personally happening that we talk about. Everyone, bringing up. Joe bringing up, or Annalisa helping with the that video with the teacher incident. Like that's big news too. That's big things happening in current events, and so I like this one. I personally like the current events episode more than the other 3 each month personally. But man, we had a lot of excited people to talk about getting tased last week. I didn't even think about being tased until we were on the show. I thought, did they ever been shocked? Like, you had a short in a wire or something like that. Didn't even think about like, oh yeah, have you ever been tased by the cops? Like, no.
God, could you imagine?
Can't hear you, Bob. No.
Testing.
Yep,
Now we can
there
hear
we
you.
Jeez. My beard shut off. I had to replace the power cell.
Could you imagine getting tased though? Like, there's a part of me that wants to know what it feels like, but there's like, I wouldn't want to be tased. It doesn't look like it's.
Yeah, I don't think it would be good because it leaves a burn mark on your skin. I don't remember.
Don't those things poke in you? Don't they poke into you?
I think they're sharp. Yeah.
Because when they shoot them at you, it like pokes into you, doesn't it? Kind of like a dart.
Oh, those do. Yeah. Those hook into your skin.
Yeah.
Ouch. Can you imagine?
That's what I'm saying. Like.
Just do what they say.
There's a part of me that's like, oh, I want to know what it feels like. Like, do you like, I don't know, does it hurt or what? But then I'm like, yeah, I don't want to find out.
Yeah, it does seem like something that you would want to know ahead of time before it happened in a surprise situation. Because then you would have that initial shock of it, no pun intended, out of the way, because you would know what that felt like already. but might also make you think twice about doing anything to get tased.
Yeah. A hell of a wake up call.
Yes. Well, speaking of wake up, I'm gonna go and have some fun on the after show for just a little while, guys. Like a half hour. Usually, I'll hang out and watch a little Kill Tony or something. Listen to some music. JFK. Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about this. I think I put that in the title or in the description. The files got released, but not all of the files. Not all of the files. Only a lot of the files, and of course a lot of them are redacted, and they're probably redacting all the rest of them, and there's probably some that will just never be released. So we'll never truly know what happened, and there will always be room for conspiracy theories. Man, I've touched the electric fence. Touch the electric fence at a horse pasture. Whew. It's all the shock I want to know about. Yeah, it's probably similar to a tase. I would think. Touch the dog shocker collar.
Those horse fences are
Yeah.
pretty powerful.
I didn't realize how popular the electricity episode would be, man. Everybody, between talking about electric fences and talking about being tased, and then like lightning strikes, man. I actually rewatched the whole episode too. I don't know if I got all the way to the end, but I rewatched a lot of it. I was like doing dishes the next morning and doing other things, and I just found myself re-listening to, because we had so many people come on and weigh in on different parts of it, so it was pretty good. But we're gonna get going. I just keep looking to see if it jumps back up, because we were at 18. Pretty good though, pretty good. On the Rumble, really working hard on these alternate platforms, like I always have been. I've been telling you guys this for years now about this. Let's be an internet community, not just a platform community in one place. Facebook. I'm still on Facebook, but as you can see, you guys are the real ones over here coming in from Facebook to Rumble. With a never pee on electric fence. Yes, I totally agree. Oh yeah, I'm gonna pull up the game for game night. I got to do some work on it, so maybe I'll pull that up while we're listening to Kill Tony.
Oh, by the way, Red 6, 10 milligrams.
Okay.
THC.
Yeah.
Anal
100
suppository.
No edibles. Gross. 100 milligrams for the whole package.
Oh snap!
That's right.
They must regulate that, huh? Because you can get higher dosages, right, of edibles?
Not usually.
You can make higher doses. You can go to an
them?
event and buy them. Yeah, for sure. Shouts out to several. Talk to Margaret.
Some
Margaret's probably
THC
here.
suppositories. Could you imagine doing one of those at work?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You'd be like, it's all good. All good. Nothing's going to get at me today.
THC suppository. It's got to have CBD in there too, Lisa May. Come on now. You're only allowed to buy 100 G packs. Huh, interesting.
I don't think this has enough CBD in it.
I think I'm gonna hop down, you guys.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to go, but we're back up to 16. I'm just like, let's get to 20, but that's okay. If you want to follow the channel, follow us every Thursday night. We do this, and we're always open. It's an open panel for anyone who is clothed and willing to talk about the topic to come up on screen as well. So always let us know if you want the link. Always looking for people to be semi co-hosts, reoccurring co-hosts. Kim, check out Kim on Legit Bean Review, and check out Red 6 over at Boots to Bushes on Facebook. We will see you guys next week. See me on Sunday for Indoor Farmer Game Night at 5:30 Central Time. Meet me over on Locals in 2 minutes or so. We'll be there soon for the after show. Peace out, everybody. Remember, everybody's got to eat. We need each other to do that. So have a good weekend. Peace.
Yeah, this is for my green thumbs in the game. Wailing the indoor farmer, check my name. Sustainability, we about to reclaim. This is how we do it, keep it in the frame. I'm Waylon the farmer, the indoor king. Living off the grid, what the city can't bring. Got my hydro setup, my LED lights. Growing all my greens, all through the night. Self-sustain, that's the mission. Growing my own, I'm not missing. Indoor farming, the hustle's real. Waylon's here, and he's